So 13 years ago, calisthenics and gymnastic rings, these round things here in the back, basically saved me. They were the linchpin I needed at that point in order to get rid of my anxiety, to stop feeling borderline depressed, and they gave me the confidence I needed to basically restart my life, this time on a prosthetic leg. Now, after looking back on my journey and after also getting some comments on the channel lately telling me that I don't create a lot of content for beginners, which did make me feel a little bit guilty, I decided to create this series for any one of you that might be in a similar situation. So if you feel caught up in a rut, if you feel that you need to make a lot of changes in your life right now and you need that extra kick in the ass to get more accountable, to get more disciplined, or if you simply want to get rid of your gut and just feel comfortable in your skin again, if you want to find a healthy way to manage all of that stress in your life, and if you want to also be a role model for your family, then this series is for you. By the way, pretty soon we'll be launching a free 30-day beginner calisthenics challenge that we'll be hosting on our coaching platform. So if you want to stay posted about that, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter list. There's a link below, and I'll be talking more about that in the coming videos.
Learning to train with rings frees you from the modern, restrictive, and one-sided approach to fitness, having you think that you can only get in shape if you have access to a designated location like a gym with a ton of equipment. But if you don't enjoy feeling stuck in a crowded place every time you want to exercise, or if you simply don't vibe with the gym scene anymore, you can train from the comfort of your own home, or even better, the outdoors, or combine both, as I like to do. Plus, your session can become the quality alone time you need when you can put the world on pause and clear your head while also carving a rugged, strong and lean physique. So if all that sounds appealing, then subscribe if you're new here, since in this 3-part series, I'll be covering everything you need to know to start training with gymnastic rings. Specifically, in part 1, which is today's video, we'll begin with all the practical stuff, like which rings to get in terms of size, material, and all that, but also where and how to set them up. In part 2, we'll get you started with the right beginner's routine for you, whether you are in somewhat decent shape and have a basic grasp of calisthenics, or if you are a complete beginner and you can't even do a single pull-up or even a single push-up yet. Finally, in part 3, we'll be covering an equally important yet neglected piece of getting great results when training with calisthenics, which is the right diet for this style of training. It's quite easy to feel overwhelmed when it comes to choosing the right pair of rings, since nowadays there are a ton of options out there.
Now, in terms of ring size, in terms of ring thickness, there are 2 main sizes that you find in the market. The 28 millimeter one, so this one here, which is the official size used by Gymnastic Ring Federation. So this is what you'll see professional gymnasts use. And then you also have the 32 millimeter ring. So this is thicker, and this became basically popularized when CrossFit became a thing. I prefer the 32 millimeter ring. You know, this is what I've been using for a long time now. This is what I just enjoy training with. That being said, if you're a woman or a guy with relatively small hands, the 28 millimeter ring will probably feel more comfortable for you. And if you're a guy with bigger hands, I recommend trying the 32 millimeter ring. That being said, comfort also has to do with what kind of exercise you're doing, okay? So if you're doing, let's say, any kind of pulling movement, then you'll probably feel more comfortable with the 28 millimeter ring. So, this allows you to wrap your hands better around the ring and just have a tighter grip. Whereas if you're doing pushing movements, so if you're leaning more on the ring, if you're doing something like dips or push-ups, just because you have a bigger surface to lean on, I find that the thicker rings, the 32 millimeter rings, feel more comfortable. Because of that, my recommendation is ideally getting these rings here from Kensui, that offer both a thick and a narrow grip. And even though I don't own these and I've never used them, to be honest, after recommending them to a lot of my trainees, all of them seem to love them. So maybe also a set of rings for me to buy next.
When it comes to materials, there are, again, two main choices, plastic and wood. For me, this is an easy choice since wooden rings are both more aesthetically pleasing and at the same time offer a better grip, especially during the summer when your hands start to sweat. Still, there is one scenario in which I would consider plastic rings, and that would be if you're planning on hanging them outdoors 24/7, since wood in this scenario will probably start to absorb water and humidity, which in the long run will cause them to crack. Here, there are, again, two main options, numbered straps and plain straps. So if you are a bit OCD, then I do recommend getting the numbered ones, since this will help you with hanging them evenly. Otherwise, if like me, you don't obsess about such things that much, a basic single-colored strap will do. Plus, even if you hang your rings a little bit uneven every time you train, there's a very simple trick to avoid muscle asymmetries and imbalances, which I'll be sharing with you in part number 2. Finally, I want to emphasize that it is not really that important right now to overanalyze which rings you're going to get. I mean, when I got started, I just bought the cheapest set I could find out there, and it lasted me for years. So whatever pair you can get your hands on right now will do, as long as you get started. Starting with your home setup, the best long-term solution is to drill eye-bolt screws in your ceiling, whether that is in a space or room designated for working out in your apartment, or whether that is your home's basement or garage. This was my setup a few years ago, and it is the best option. But if you can't drill on the ceiling, which is unfortunately my current situation, you can use a wall-mounted pull-up bar or a door frame pull-up bar, as long as it can support your weight. Another solution is to look for any kind of exposed beam in your house, whether that is in your attic or, again, your basement or garage. Just make sure that when using that last setup, your door frame can hold the pull-up bar and your weight, because I've had my accidents in the past, which is why the last option that I'll be recommending here is a standalone pull-up bar, and what I got when I moved to my current apartment, since I cannot drill on the ceilings. If you've been a subscriber of this channel for a while now, then you know that training outdoors is my favorite spot, and I do recommend this at least once a week, since nothing really compares to outdoor exercise, especially if you spend most of the week working indoors or behind a screen. And although any exercise is better than none, again, nothing compares to training under an open sky and horizon. From reducing stress to clearing brain fog, giving your eyes a break from screen strain, boosting creativity, improving sleep quality, training outdoors is simply a reset for your entire system.
Now, even if you don't have these kinds of amazing environments to train at, like the ones you see me training at lately, having spent years also training in more urban environments with not always the best view, I can promise you that outdoors always beats indoors, and there's plenty of research to prove this.
In terms of setup, the first obvious option is any park that has a pull-up bar available, something you can quickly check for if you simply search for calisthenics parks around you on Google Maps.
Next, you have these kinds of gazebos that you see me training at very often. You can find metal ones, you can find wooden ones like this one in the back. And if you also appreciate a little bit of extra quiet, if you visit these early in the morning, it will typically be very peaceful.
Another option that works are basketball courts, since assuming the rims of the basketballs are sturdy enough, you can mount the rings on them. Plus, if you train early in the morning, this can also be a relatively peaceful spot. And lastly, the most natural solution, I guess, would be a tree branch, which again, if it's sturdy enough and if the location makes sense for you, this can become your new outdoor calisthenics workout spot.
So step number 1 is toss the buckle, so the heavy end of the strap, over the anchoring point. Now, personally, I like to turn this a little bit into a game, like seeing how far away I can throw the strap successfully and, see how smoothly I can do the whole process. But if you're a beginner, don't worry about that. Just make sure you don't knock yourself on the head with the buckle. And give yourself some time to get comfortable with the whole process. And there you go. Moving on to step number 2, threading the ring through the strap. Now, I already did this for this side. I'm going to show you for this side. Obviously, it's the same thing. First of all, what you want to do is make sure that your strap is sitting nice and aligned. Again, straps should be straight. If it's like folded up weirdly, or if the buckle is basically looking the other way around, you might feed the strap in the way where the whole thing is not set up properly. So the back end of the buckle, okay, basically this is the front end where you have this clip right here where you can press right. This is the back end. So the back end should be facing yourself, okay? Now what you want to do is take your ring with your dominant hand, or whichever hand makes more sense for you. Place the buckle through the ring, all right? Makes sense? You can always rewatch this. Give yourself some extra give to the strap. Take the end of the strap, this pointy thing here, feed it through the buckle from the bottom up, okay? Don't go from the top downwards. This way you always have a lot more solid grip on the strap, okay? And just pull the strap until your ring is at the height you want to use, right? Depending on the exercise, usually for rows, you want your top part of your ring to be somewhere around hip height. For dips, depending on your training level as well, but usually at the bottom of your ribs, again, the top part of the ring. But I can go through that in part 2, okay? So there we go. We've got our ring set up. You can, place the remaining part of the strap somewhat like this around, the pull-up bar, or around whatever setup you're using. Nice and tidy, so you can get your reps in. Now, a lot of people have asked me about this one. How do I do that weird kind of knot with my rings? How do I pack them, basically, right? Making sure the straps are nice and tidy before I throw them in my backpack. And that is exactly what I'll be showing you right now. So first of all, unhook your rings, unmount them, right, from whatever surface you've mounted them on. Is that right? Should be. There you go. Remove, first of all, the rings, but leave the straps. And next, what you want to do is take both buckles, okay, put them one on top of the other, and coil them around your elbow, cowboy style. Now, at the end, leave a little bit of a loose end, okay? So I like to leave about 2 forearms length free, and take your rings, put them through your buckles, your straps, and your fist, right? Take the end of the strap out again, grab the end of the straps with the buckles with your other hand, okay? Grab the other end with your other hand, fold the straps on top of each other again. So you should have the strap set up this way, all right? Makes sense? and just take the end of the straps again and wrap the top part in this kind of bundle. Okay? And there you go. This is like an easy way to carry your rings if you're walking around, or it's a tidy way to also put them in your backpack. So I like to take the bulk of the straps and put them in the middle of the rings, right? So they don't take extra space. Just throw this in and there you go. That way, the next time you train, when you take them out of your backpack, you can hold the loose end, right? Walk all the way to wherever you're about to set up your rings and slowly untangle the bundle from the end, the pointy end of the straps.
That was all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to my new Beginner Calisthenics newsletter list below. There's a link in the top comment. This way you can stay posted about this series, but you can also learn more about a new 30-day calisthenics and gymnastic rings challenge for beginners that I'll be setting up soon. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them below. And until next time, keep on training.